Hey, Scarefest fans, this is Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly, and this week I'm reviewing a movie that was done a few years ago, finally got released independently back in the fall, and is now on the Hulus. That's right, we're talking about a remake called The Toxic Avenger. Now, if you're a fan of the original Troma films and Lloyd Kaufman, this movie's so going to work for you. I've got to be honest. I met and have spent time with Lloyd. He's been on Bonehead Weekly. We had a great time. I have several stories, but never really cared much for the movies. Like John Waters, I'm a big fan of John Waters, but not a huge fan only of a couple of the movies. My friend Chad loves the movies, so he and Lloyd hit it off. We all got along with Lloyd. When they were talking about the remake of The Toxic Avenger, I thought that's a dumb idea. It doesn't work. And then they got the cast with Elijah Wood's in this, Kevin Bacon's in this, they had Peter Dinklage playing the Toxic Avenger. None of this made sense to me. And then the movie got put on a shelf because some people said it was unreleasable. I was like, oh gosh, it's so bad. Well, they finally released it, and I couldn't make it to the theater to see it. And I know a lot of you Scarefest fans did. And I finally got to watch it on Hulu months ago. Sorry, I'm a little late getting to this. I love this movie. This movie is so well done. If you were it spends a little bit more money than Lloyd ever did, and it's very true to the source material, and not necessarily just the source material, but the tone of those original films. The stupidness, the silliness, the random cuts like Lloyd would do to a set of breasts towards the end, the blood, the just dumb jokes, the fart and poop humor and things like that. It's directed by a guy named Malcolm Blair, who I only knew as an actor. I've not really watched any of his movies. He did a wonderful movie called Blue Ruin that'll just depress the heck out of you. I completely recommend it. This guy really knocks it out of the park. I was not a huge fan of the original Toxic Avenger films. I've seen most of them, but I don't ever want to watch them. Chad was always the big fan. The morning of the night, that morning before he was getting married, he was at my place, and I was going to be, we're the best man, and then James was there, the Boneheads, and he was watching Sergeant Kabuki Man the morning before he got married, or something like that, or Toxic Avenger. He just loves them. And he thought I would hate this movie, but I didn't because I feel like they did the best they could do. It's not a huge budget. There's some remarks out there that this cost 200 million. Clearly, this is shot in Bulgaria as cheaply as possible. Just more money than Lloyd ever had. And a lot of it works. I know that that's not Peter Dinklage in the suit. He's just doing the voiceover, but it all works. There's nothing about this movie that I can throw a rock at other than it's fairly faithful to the tone. And I see when a studio's put up the money and then looks at it and goes, we can't release this. This is a trauma movie, right? Trauma films are for a certain aesthetic or have a certain aesthetic, and they're for a certain audience. And this movie is no exception. It's really one of the best trauma films I've ever seen. I think everybody's great in it. I wish they'd actually gave Elijah Wood a little bit more to do, as hideous as he is in this. But I can't throw a rock. This movie is really good, really faithful to the tone and the spirit of what Lloyd had done before. And not all the jokes land, but enough of them land that I kept giggling and was shocked how much I enjoyed it throughout. So, should you watch the Toxic Avenger remake that's currently on the Hulus? Yes, go out and watch it. This has been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. See you in a few months.